Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, you'll forgive me if I'm more excited than usual. My favorite food on the planet is barbecue, and we've got the husband-wife team behind Off the Bone Barbeque in the studio. That's next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, in Dallas-Fort Worth, there are so many barbecue places, it's hard to stand out and make a name for yourself. But my next guests are a husband and wife team. They're behind Off the Bone Barbeque, and they are really making a lot of noise in a very crowded industry. Dwight and Rose Harvey, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Absolutely. Well, we're gonna taste this in a minute, and I'm downwind because I keep getting it's wafting over my way, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to contain myself. But let's start with you, Dwight. How did this all begin for you?
It started as a backyard hobby, something to occupy my time. At that point in time in my life, I was trying to quit smoking. So this was a perfect opportunity for me to be in the backyard and still be able to do things that...
Oh, you were still smoking. It was just meat.
Yeah, it was a different smoke. A little different. It wasn't going in the lungs. So, and that's how it all basically started.
Okay. Now, you both work for Frito-Lay, or you did at the time, and you had kind of a happenstance where suddenly you got asked to do barbecue at Frito-Lay.
Yeah, it was an event they were having, and they had knowledge of me being kind of a chef in the backyard. So they wanted to try the barbecue, and we ended up catering a given event for that group.
Wow. And that's when it all began.
That's pretty much how it all started.
I mean, there are not too many catering companies that can say, my first client was a little company, you might have heard of it, Frito-Lay.
Yeah, that was it.
All right, let's bring you into this, Rose. At what point do you guys agree this is a business?
Well, there was a point where we finally said, how many more market checks and focus groups can we have? Dwight, you either going to do it or not. All our friends had the barbecue. They loved it. How many times can we tell you we love it? Let's just try it. So when he got ready to retire, he knew what he was going to do. It's a matter of what scale, where, how am I going to do this? And so he had a purpose when he retired.
Wow. Well, I think the most challenging thing is Texans know their barbecue, and they know good barbecue from bad barbecue. So not only did you guys have to come up with an amazing recipe, but you had to stand out above a lot of other companies who also think that they have the secret sauce. Dwight, what makes yours better?
Well, ours is a little different, and it's more gourmet barbecue. We start with the ribs, which are baby back ribs. Most places, most companies use spare ribs, which we don't. We use strictly baby back ribs, and they're unique in the fact that they're a little more meaty than the spare ribs.
Outstanding. We're going to put up your website because there's a slider on the homepage of the website, and we're just going to let that slider go for a couple of minutes. So you started the company formally 16 years ago. Tell us what it's been like. I mean, you had COVID in the middle of that. I mean, what has the last 16 years been like for you guys?
It's been a little hectic, but we were blessed, and we were able to get through most of that. When we actually started in 2008, that's when the economy turned downward.
That's right. That was the Great Recession.
We weathered that, and then next thing we faced was COVID, and we weathered that one. So we're still here, and we've been blessed in that respect.
Amen. We also found some of your reels on Facebook, and we put several of them together just so people can they can start salivating. That's your location, and tell us again where you're located.
We're located at 1734 Bolton John.
Yes.
Used to be South Lamar, name change, but that's where we're located.
So you got the physical location, but now I think you told me that a third of your business is catering. Right, Rose, why don't you talk about how your catering business is now taking off?
So it started with most of the business segments, the corporations, accounting firms, law firms, and probably, of course, our most significant was manufacturing firms. During COVID, of course, suddenly the business sector was gone. And we realized that manufacturing firms, consumer packaging companies, other manufacturing companies were working 24 hours. So we kind of pivoted and started picking up more of that business. Unfortunately, during that time, everybody wanted individual package, 400, 500, 800, individually packaged because they had no idea about COVID and the impact of it. So there was a tremendous learning from that. And now we're targeting bigger catering jobs. We can deliver it to you if you like. We could arrange staffing to do a full catering for you if you like. But that has been our focus as of late. Large quantities, bulk quantities going out the door.
And you were telling me before the show your largest event ever was for 1,000 people.
Yes.
Let's talk about the challenges of feeding 1,000 people. I mean, it's much different than catering for 30 people at Frito-Lay, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, the temperature, like when you bring
That's
things
correct.
out. What was that event like?
Well, trying to determine your setup and getting the food there just in time for serving so it's still hot. Yes. Having to factor in your traveling time, and what does that mean? Because you've got to make sure it's warm before you leave. And if you're going to travel for an hour, what does that mean to the quality of food and everything? So think we got it down.
Yes.
But those are the things you have to consider and what adjustments you have to make for that.
Dwight, let's bring you back into the conversation. You consider yourself an artist, don't you? I mean, when people taste your barbecue for the first time, you want them to their jaw to drop.
Exactly. I mean, that's part of it. That's part of the excitement of being able to produce a product like that. When you take that first bite and you know this is right, this is what it should be. Yeah. This is the way it should be.
And even Troy Aikman is a customer.
Right, Troy. Yeah.
Tell us about that. How'd you run into Troy?
We met Troy at Mi Casino, of course. We visit there on Sundays, and he's normally there and that type of thing. So, and we got to talking with him and expressing and showing him what we do and that type of thing. He decided to come by and try us, and he liked it at that point.
And he has you on his phone as one of the favorites, right beneath his daughters.
Right, exactly. So.
And Clarice Tensley is a loyal customer. I think you were telling me my former lead anchor at Channel 4.
Yeah, Clarice and Stephen and her mom, as a matter of fact, they all three have come and they love our tacos.
Yes.
We do an outstanding rib taco that they both love.
I think you were telling me that often Clarice will order for the newsroom.
Yeah, she would do that for Channel 4, mainly on holidays.
Yeah.
Because they're working during that holiday, and after the show, we would cater and bring in product.
Okay, now before we show this commercial, you guys were featured in a Pepsi ad. Mm-hmm. Why don't you set that up, Rose? What are we about to see?
So, during COVID, there were some brave people at PepsiCo that decided they were going to ask for a purse of money to put aside to help the businesses that probably were not in the best position to handle third-party delivery, didn't have all of the capability and technology at the time. So we get a call, and they said, we're giving your name. The good news is you're on our list to be part of this pilot group. The bad news is we're starting next week. I'm like, hey, I'm from Pepsi. We can always do it, so we'll make it happen. What that did, because we had, before COVID, we were already looking at new POS system and trying to decide how you execute your own online ordering. And this was perfect timing. Already knew what technology we needed. It was a matter of them. They funded it. They helped with maximizing the website to do it. They sent photographers out. It was an 8-week project, and it was done.
And it was beautifully shot. Let's go ahead and roll it now.
Yeah.
When was the last time you experienced something different? To support Black-owned restaurants.
That is so cool. Like, how many people can say they starred in a Pepsi commercial?
I know. They hit our parking lot at 5 o'clock in the morning, and they left at 6.
Wow. And you said there was a lot of takes. You had to go serve that barbecue a couple times.
Dwight had quite a few takes.
Oh, look at she threw you under the bus.
Yeah.
All right. Now, we have an event coming up, and we're going to put this graphic on the screen so you all can enjoy this. Taste of the Cowboys. How long have you been doing it? Tell us about the event.
We've been part of that event for the last, I would say, 10 years. Absent doing, it was a brief spell during COVID that they didn't have the event, so.
Yes.
But other than that, we've been there. Kent Rathman was the one that actually got us involved, and it's a pretty neat event. And it goes all the contributions go to the North Texas Food Bank.
And it's coming up quick. When is it going to be?
It's going to be this coming Friday, starting at 6:30.
Outstanding.
At the Star.
Perfect. Okay, so with the little time we have left, I just said to myself it would be rude for me not to sample some of your cuisine. So I'm gonna kind of like bring this over, and because I'm gonna be eating, you guys are gonna have to be talking.
Okay.
So we have to tell him what he's eating.
Yeah. Why don't you tell me what we're eating?
Okay. So those are the baby back ribs that Dwight talked about. I know they've been sitting there a while, and hopefully they're warm enough that when you bite on them, they do come off the bone. And this is the coleslaw. At the Taste of the Cowboys, we actually serve this as a sample.
Is that right?
Yes, it will be a sample of the coleslaw, which has blue cheese in it and bacon.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I did not bring a fork, so that's for later.
Okay.
But I'm going to go ahead and let's see. I won't. Okay, but now it's going to get a little messy.
You can get a little messy.
All right. As I'm biting this, I want you, Dwight, to narrate like what should I notice as I bite into this?
What you should notice is that it comes off the bone and it is tender. As you see, it comes off in pieces in your hand there. So,
and I like the smoky flavor.
Yeah, we use pecan wood in all our smoking.
Okay, so what is the ideal time to smoke baby back ribs? How long do you?
Normally, we smoke our ribs in 3 to 4 hours.
Wow.
Okay.
I'm just going to let you guys close out the show. I'm busy.
Go ahead and enjoy yourself. That's part of what we, in fact, like.
Well, this is delicious. And let's give Rose the final thought. What would you like to leave people with if they've never sampled Off the Bone Barbecue? What would you like to say to the audience?
Well, find us. We're at 1734 Botham John, just south of downtown Dallas. You can walk from the convention center or the Omni Hotel. You go past the police headquarters, and there we are.
Wow.
In the Cedars.
I bet you get a lot of cops coming by.
We do.
That's awesome. Well, you guys have been amazing guests, and thank you so much for bringing the barbecue, and I will definitely have to stop in. You have gotten a new fan.
Thank you for having us.
You bet. Okay,
We appreciate it.
We're going to end with the website, which is, of course, offthebonebarbecue.com. Dwight and Rose Harvey, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.